Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Live at 4 on this Wednesday. Charlotte Celeste is in for Susan Simon. She's a little under the weather today. A lot of things going around.
There's a lot of stuff, surprisingly, even in the summer. It happens.
That happens. And coming up in this next hour, we're going to preview the swim meet, the All-City Swim Meet coming up. And Harvey Briggs is going to be along with a all-electric Nissan Leaf. We'll find out if that's a car you can actually own.
If you, there's the key right there. If you can actually own that.
If you actually use it. So that's all coming up. But first, here's what's making news today. Trade war talks make some progress this afternoon, at least on the European front.
As the Secretary of State answers questions about the last meeting between President Trump and Vladimir Putin, their next summit is postponed. And you have a chance to invest in the city of Madison, how you can go buy mini bonds to help finance Olbrook's reconstruction. Interesting concept. All right, let's take a look outside. Nice summer day today. It was gorgeous.
It really was.
We got some a special ice cream truck here today, too. It was nice.
Management brought us some
But,
ice cream.
you know, maybe next time they should take us out on a boat.
That's right. Get on a little raft to the back there.
That's nice.
Eye to the sky, though. There could be some trouble later on today. Chris Reese is on the backyard weather patio. We are under an alert day.
That's right. It is an alert day now. I've been looking at the sky all day. We've seen some pretty spectacular cloud formations come through from time to time. Now there are more clouds moving in over the Madison area. But before those clouds moved in, we did see a high today right around 83 degrees, which oddly enough, that's not too shabby for this time of the year. That's about where our high should be, though they come down just a couple of degrees towards 81. Temperatures right now are right at 81 here in Madison. Same for Lone Rock and Mineral Point. We're all seeing those temperatures into the 70s and 80s as of now. But like I mentioned, that cloud cover starting to increase with the shield of cloud cover that has worked its way on into town. Those showers of thunderstorms have also begun to pick up in coverage, especially across the North Woods right now coming out of Minnesota. We just got new information from the Storm Prediction Center with a little discussion out that we may see more in the way of showers and thunderstorms beginning to pop up, especially to our north and west as we go through the next hour or so. We may see a severe thunderstorm watch issued momentarily, so stay tuned for that. But until then, yes, it is an alert day this evening and tonight for that threat of strong to severe thunderstorms. Those main threats, though, are going to be damaging winds and hail. And again, not everyone is going to get in on that. It's just going to be isolated in nature. Traffic-wise, here's a live look at the Beltline and Verona Road. Things are moving rather smoothly there, so that is a pleasant sight to see. But of course, those slowdowns already starting to show up on the Beltline, especially as you head eastbound from the west side of town towards the interstate. Downtown, we're seeing a few or a little bit in the way of brake lights beginning to pop on up. And as we know, day in and day out, this is that time of the day that we're really going to start seeing those delays back up or increase headed into that afternoon rush hour. But of course, I'll have the latest details on the forecast coming up here in a few minutes. Also at 4:45, I'll have another look at the traffic for you guys getting ready to head home. Guys?
A cool end of the week, too.
Oh, yes, a very cool end of the week. Once we get through this round of showers and thunderstorms, folks are really going to love what the forecast holds after that.
Can't wait to see it. All right, Chris, we'll see you in a few minutes.
First at 4, President Trump secured concessions from the European Commission this afternoon.
He announced within the past hour it may avoid an escalating trade war between our country and Europe.
We agreed today, first of all, to work together towards zero tariffs, zero non-tariff barriers, and zero subsidies on non-auto industrial goods.
Last month, the U.S. placed tariffs on imported steel and aluminum from Europe, Canada, and Mexico. And Europe hit back, promising higher taxes on cars made in the United States. Today's agreement scales those threats back, including allowing more sales of soybeans to Europe. It was just yesterday the administration announced it was going to spend $12 billion to help out American farmers hit by tariffs. But today, Jim Ostrom, who manages a family of farms in the Fox Valley, is not optimistic, saying the trade wars will hit the Wisconsin dairy industry hard.
Going forward, unfortunately, we're in commodity production, and it is a difficult business. And as we were coming out of the dairy recession and starting in March and April, now we're going to have to solve this with people leaving the industry, and that's really heartbreaking for many people, families. You know, we in agriculture, we raise our children to raise farmers, our grandchildren, and it is going to be a very painful process if we don't solve this trade problem.
The president meets with representatives from Canada and Mexico tomorrow to renegotiate the North American Free Trade Agreement. Trump said he wants to pull out of that agreement.
Lawmakers grilled Secretary of State Mike Pompeo about President Trump's meetings with Vladimir Putin, Kim Jong-un, and other issues. Senator Bob Corker told the secretary the panel has serious doubts about this White House and its conduct of American policy. CBS's Nicole Killian is on Capitol Hill.
We really need a clear understanding as to what is going on.
Only translators were in the room when it happened, but lawmakers want Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to tell them everything about President Trump's private meeting with Vladimir Putin.
I asked you a simple question. I hope we're going to get through it. Did he tell you what transpired in the 2-hour meeting?
I've had a number of conversations with President Trump about what transpired in the meeting.
It's been more than a week since the Helsinki summit, and the White House has been vague on details. Senators asked if the president promised to relax sanctions on Russia.
I can confirm to you that no commitment has been made to change those policies in any way.
Secretary Pompeo insists the Trump administration has been tough on Russia and drew a hard line on meddling in U.S. elections.
I personally made clear to the Russians there will be severe consequences for interference in our democratic processes.
Pompeo also told the panel he's involved in intense negotiations with North Korea.
I am very confident that the North Koreans understand our definition of denuclearization, a very broad one.
Wednesday, the White House backtracked on a second meeting between President Trump and Putin this fall, pushing it until after the new year when, quote, the Russia witch hunt is over. In Washington, Nicole Killian for WISC News 3.
Prior to the hearing, the State Department released a declaration on Crimea stating the U.S. does not recognize Russia's annexation of Crimea and insists the territory be restored to Ukraine.
President Trump is firing back at his longtime personal attorney, Michael Cohen, after the release of a recording Cohen secretly made of a conversation between the two men. Trump tweeted this morning, "What kind of a lawyer would tape a client? So sad. Is this a first? Never heard of it before. Why was the tape so abruptly terminated while I was presumably saying positive things?" Michael Cohen's attorney told Good Morning America that he had good reason to make that tape.
Michael Cohen has turned a corner in his life, and he's now dedicated to telling the truth to everyone, and we'll see what happens.
The FBI seized a total of 12 tapes during a raid of Cohen's home and office back in April in its investigation of whether campaign finance laws were violated. Well, the city of Madison is offering mini bonds to people who live in the area and want to invest in the city.
The city is selling up to $2.1 million in bonds, and that money will be used to pay for the expansion of the Olbrich Botanical Gardens on Madison's Near East Side. Rose Schmidt is here to tell us more about the construction project.
Hi, Mark and Charlotte. You can buy a mini bond during October for $500. The city's finance director says it's a very low-risk investment because the city has such a high credit rating. The Olbrich Botanical Gardens expansion project costs a total of $12 million. Half of that is coming from the Olbrich Botanical Society, and the other half the city is paying for. The gardens will get a new learning center and an energy-efficient greenhouse as part of that project. It's one of the top tourist attractions in Madison and has grown drastically over the years.
We haven't had an expansion of a building here since 1991, and our attendance has grown from about 120,000 back then to over 350,000. So we need the space. We're desperate for the space.
Today, crews were out prepping the construction site, cutting down trees, but the director says those trees will get replanted once construction is underway. Construction on the building will start in September and is expected to be finished in about a year. Now, if you're thinking about buying those mini bonds, the city will hold 2 informational sessions in the coming months where you can ask questions about this new program. The window to buy the bonds is from October 3rd to October 9th.
Interesting program. Thank you, Rose.
You could get money for your blood donation for the next month. The Red Cross is offering $5 Amazon gift cards for people who give blood or platelets from July 30th through August 30th. The organization said this is an effort to curb the emergency shortage of blood. They said they need type O in particular. There are dozens of places you can donate, and we have a link to the closest one to you on our website, channel3000.com.
Well, here we go again. April the giraffe became an internet sensation when more than 1 million people watched her give birth in 2017, and now she is pregnant again. The owner of Animal Adventure Park in Harpersville, New York, says he expects April and her mate Oliver to welcome their new calf in early spring, perhaps in March. The world eagerly awaited the arrival of April's last calf, to Jari, watching April online on live stream leading up to the birth. The zoo has now set up a live stream for people to check in on April leading up to her next due date. Our 6 o'clock producer will get nothing done between now and April.
It's true.
Still to come at 4, it's one of the largest city swim meets in the country, and it opens tomorrow.
We'll have a preview of this year's all-city swim meet live from Monona when Live at 4 continues.
Welcome back. The last of the campers in Yosemite Valley are packing up their tents before officials close the area this afternoon for firefighters battling a wildfire near the park.
Officials say Yosemite Valley isn't in imminent danger, but the closure is necessary to allow crews to perform protective measures such as burning away brush along roadways. Other parts of the park remain open. The scenic valley will be off limits and will likely remain closed through Sunday.
It just got to the point, the cumulative effect, poor air quality, the weather forecast saying we're not looking at any relief soon.
Heavy smoke from the 60-square-mile fire is hanging over the valley, which normally bustles with summer crowds.
Well, stocks surged in late trading on that deal reached with the European Union, the trade deal. The Dow Industrials gained 172 points, closing at 25,414. The NASDAQ Composite Index added 91. The S&P 500 was up 25. You go ahead.
Thank you, dear. One of the largest outdoor amateur swim meets in the country will convene in Monona starting tomorrow. Monona Swim and Dive Club hosts the 2018 All-City Swim Meet. 2,000 swimmers from 13 area swim clubs will compete in over 4,000 events. The event will take place at Monona Community Pool on Nichols Road. Joining us live now is Rhonda Haller-Steenhagen, the co-chair of the swim meet. Rhonda, thanks for being with us today.
My pleasure. Thanks so much for having us here.
So this is said to be the second largest amateur meet in the country. Is that true?
Well, that's what we think to be true. All indications are that it is actually the second largest amateur outdoor swim meet in the country. Kids ages 4 to 18, you just don't see this sort of thing anywhere else.
Rhonda, I have heard people say that this is organized chaos. Can you describe how crazy, cool, and fun this is?
Yeah, you know, I remember the first time my daughter, when she was about 7th grade, and we came and we had no idea what we were walking into. All the concession stands that are there, the 13 tents, one for each team where the kids hang out until it's their turn to swim. And then just all the things that are going on in the stands, the swimmers, organized chaos is probably a great way to describe it, actually, Charlotte.
Quite a contrast from back in 1962, and the first meet was held at B.B. Clark Beach.
I know, swimming out there in the lakes. You're absolutely correct. And it took just a few years before they started switching on over to indoor pools, and Monona being really proud to be hosting it this particular year, because this is where things can really start to happen. Yes, you can do it in the lake, but there's so much we can do here in the city of Monona at our community pool with the green space that we have, with our commitment to sustainability, lots of cool things that we can do as a host right here in our community.
Rhonda, can you talk about how special this particular meet is this year for the McDade family?
Yeah, I certainly can. You know, we talk about our commitment to this being magical. And so when you have a family like the McDades who've been living and breathing and actually committing their life to swimming, whether it be in the high school programs or in the Monona Swim and Dive Club, this is their last time. Their boys have gone through it, and now Ben, an accomplished swimmer, his last time at All-City, going off to swim college. So the McDades have a special connection to this particular All-City because it's in their home pool where they've worked forever.
Something new that you have this year as well as the unified swim. Tell us about that.
We do. You know, we really decided early on in that, again, spirit of being magical, making sure that we could reach all kids who wanted to swim. Really from the beginning, very long time ago, the commitment was to get the kids committed, get them active, let them have fun. And they didn't put parameters around who that would be. We said this year we could make a difference. We could make it inclusive and really start to partner with Special Olympics to offer All-City Swim League to those children who might need some additional support to get them swimming, to get them feel the team and camaraderie with the other clubs. So we do have a handful of swimmers who are going to compete for the very first time in All-City coming up this weekend. Actually, they're competing tomorrow, so it's great.
That is so exciting.
It is.
It is.
Well, have a great event.
And good luck with the organized chaos. We know you got this handled with all those thousands of people coming, so.
We are having lots of fun, and thank you so much for having us. We'd like everyone to come on out because it's a great experience for the whole family. Thanks, guys.
All right, Rhonda, you're welcome. Thank you. The All-City Swim Meet starts tomorrow and runs through Saturday at the Monona Community Pool on Nichols Road.
Organized chaos.
Does summer seem to be slipping by? Does it seem like everybody's having fun but you?
Here's a hint. They're not. But there is still time to get the most out of your summer. We'll find out how when Live at 4 continues.
Take a look at this.
All right, ready? Tell me I'm good.
You're good.
Yeah? All right, here we go.
You're good. All right, ready, set, fun. What the f?
With friends like this, a base jumper named Matt decided to play a joke on his friend Arias. They set up Arias by rigging the pack he was supposed to check for his buddy as he made the jump. All's well, though, as you can see from Matt's point of view camera. He pulled his other parachute, safely lands on the ground under the bridge. We're not sure how Arias is doing.
Oh my gosh.
Can you imagine?
Oh my God, no. No, not at all.
You know, you trust your buddy to get your pack ready and, oh.
Goodness. Oh, yeah, that beep is appropriate.
It is Wednesday, July 25th.
Okay, it is Thread the Needle Day, which can have a lot of different meanings, literal and metaphorical, a yoga pose, sports references as well.
All sorts of things. It's also National Merry-Go-Round Day. The earliest known description of a merry-go-round or carousel dates back to 500 AD, the Byzantine Empire. Wow. The first merry-go-round in the U.S. opened in Hessville, Ohio in 1840.
And my favorite one, it is also National Wine and Cheese Day. Find a favorite wine, sample it, and sample it with some of your favorite cheeses.
Well, we have some
well.
elderflower and rosé lemonade, since we can't be drinking. This is not the Today Show.
Yeah.
But this is.
And then let's see, we've got a variety of cheeses that we don't really know what's what, but you said that this one was really good.
That's really good. That's the
way I see it. Cheese is cheese.
Emmy Roth,
Emmy
did you
Roth,
say,
yeah.
who was the
world champion
cheese
last year?
Yes.
Oh, the big dishes. There we go. Let's get that out of the way.
Oh, that is good.
Isn't that good?
That is really good.
All right.
All right, I've got a forecast to get through first, then I can indulge in some of this cheese.
You've got some
and
good
maybe severe weather.
Yeah, that's right. We just had a severe... You all can. I've got to be on my A game, but we did just have a severe thunderstorm watch issued. Those details after this. Okay. The weather words for today, eye to the sky. That is exactly what we are doing. We're going to look to the west as we approach or wait for an approaching cold front that will bring that chance for some showers and thunderstorms. Here's a live look at Platteville right now. We have seen their cloud cover gradually increasing over the past several minutes to an hour. Here in Madison, we've seen the very same thing. Cloud cover now beginning to take over, and that's coming in from the west and the northwest. That's not just the WISC-TV camera, but also down towards the Edgewater. We are seeing more in the way of some clouds beginning to move on into town. Now, here is the latest severe thunderstorm watches. A lot of those were issued mainly to the west and northwest of the city of Madison. But here's my deal. We're still on the hook for that potential for strong to severe thunderstorms later. I always say weather doesn't exactly follow lines on a map. So even though us here in Madison are not included in that severe thunderstorm watch, we'll want to keep an eye on the weather as we go through the next several hours. But this severe thunderstorm watch does go until 11 o'clock tonight. Well, already we've seen some of those showers and thunderstorms beginning to develop. Visible cloud track, a good way to identify where some of these showers and thunderstorms are developing. Check out towards the North Woods. You really see some of these clouds just kind of blossom as they cross the border from Minnesota and into Wisconsin, right along the North Woods. That is those shower and thunderstorm development that we are tracking to our north and west. And then, of course, we do have that severe thunderstorm watch just to the south of that. That's going to go until tonight at 7 o'clock. These showers and thunderstorms are moving into an environment that is more conducive for some strong and severe thunderstorms. That's why we do have that slight risk that goes from Madison and points northward, especially right along I-39-90. So if you're in the Dells or up through Camp Douglas, La Crosse, Viroqua, those are all areas that are in under that slight risk. That includes us here in Madison. The storms do decrease in intensity, working their way to the south and east. That's where we find a marginal risk. That is a level 1 out of 5. Let's start you with how things are shaping up out there right now. 81 degrees, mostly cloudy. Dew points right around 60, so it's not all that humid in the city of Madison just yet, but hang on to that thought. Temperatures for all of us are into the 70s and 80s as of now. 82 in Janesville, Monroe coming in at 83, 81 in Mineral Point and Lone Rock. Back to the west, that's where dew points are a little bit higher. We're starting to see those dew points into the mid and upper 60s across the western half of the area. Dew points are in the lower 60s and even upper 50s as you work your way to the east. But winds coming in out of the south and west, it's going to be increasing those dew points as we go through the next couple of hours. That is ahead of that cold front sliding in from the north. Now, by 9 o'clock, the greatest shower and thunderstorm activity will be concentrated to our north and west. The closer you are to central Wisconsin, the best chance you have for some of those strong severe thunderstorms. As we get you towards 11:30, they'll be weakening in intensity, but we'll still see some of those showers and thunderstorms right around the area. Clearing skies initially before some wraparound cloud cover gets back in here on Thursday, and then we still can't rule out that chance for some spotty showers, but temperatures will stay on the cool side into Thursday. With the storms coming in tonight, everyone gets in on that scattered storm chance, but then of course we will have that risk for some 60-mile-an-hour or higher winds, and of course hail in excess of 1 inch in diameter is possible. Those are going to be greater at the onset of those rain chances before they gradually die off with time. By tomorrow morning, if you do still have some of those showers and thunderstorms lingering around, it's mainly just going to be some scattered showers and storms. We'll lose that severe component quickly once we get the sun on down here. High pressure taking over as we go through the middle and end of the week. That is going to set up for some pretty spectacular days, but it's a region of high pressure coming straight out of Canada. So tomorrow, 71 is our forecast high. We're going to stay in the 70s as we go through the next several days. We'll keep some spotty shower chances around, but for the most part, that humidity will be low as well. 63 degrees tonight and mostly cloudy with that chance for some showers and thunderstorms. Headed into tomorrow, 71. We're going to be cooler. We're going to be breezy. And of course, there is that chance of a shower or two popping up into the afternoon, and we're just talking sprinkles. These will not be major shower chances at all. That continues into Friday. Saturday looks absolutely fantastic, but there is a shower and thunderstorm chance at night. Rain chances increase back into Sunday and Monday. That is a reinforcing shot of some cooler air that's going to keep us in the 70s through Tuesday, even Wednesday, struggling to get out of the 70s. There's a brief warm-up next Thursday, followed by another cold front next Friday into next Saturday, guys.
All right, we have counters on the square this evening downtown until about 9 o'clock. I guess keep an eye on the radar.
Absolutely. That's what we'll be here doing.
All right. Thank you, Chris. Well, summer is supposed to be the time of year when you get to go on vacation, take a little break.
But many can't afford it, and the social pressures of the season can get you down. Take a look on social media, and it can feel like everyone is having fun except you. Then you might break your leg and have to cancel your vacation, like our guest today. Christine Whalen is an author, speaker, and professor at the UW School of Human Ecology. Welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Supposed to be on last month, and then this happened.
And then this happened. Look at this. This is not what you want in your summer vacation.
Were you on vacation?
I was not. I was not, but I certainly couldn't go anywhere. I can't drive.
So your vacation plans were suddenly changed.
Absolutely. And, you know, now we're heading toward like the middle, heading into the last part of summer. And we look on social media. We see everybody posting their fabulous summer vacations. And we think, gosh, am I missing out? Am I not having as good of a summer as everyone else? The days are dwindling. There's a little bit of pressure associated with trying to make the most of every minute.
So what do you do?
First of all, I think you got to kind of give yourself a break, because everything you see on social media, of course, is only the best stuff.
Nobody posts pictures of them doing the laundry in the basement.
No, indeed. And there are no pictures of my boot and my broken leg on social media, but that's what I've been dealing with. But you know, the other thing we can do is there's an interesting thing in behavioral economics. When you're trying to make a decision about what to do, you want to go for satisficing rather than maximizing.
Okay, so define that.
I know, right? Okay, so satisficing means you pick something and you enjoy it and you don't kind of worry about all the other options. And my bet is that most people have had some good times this summer. So even if they haven't had the most awesome summer vacation, perhaps because they're not taking a summer vacation, you know, more than half of Americans are not taking a summer vacation this year, and a quarter of the people aren't taking that vacation because they can't afford it.
Yeah.
So whether you're just not taking a summer vacation or whether you feel like, oh gosh, everybody else is doing cooler things than you, think about it in terms of satisficing. I've done some wonderful things. Let's enjoy the moment of what I really am doing.
And maybe make small plans instead of big plans?
Absolutely. Staycations are wonderful.
That's what I take in the summer.
Absolutely. And you know what I did? So I had this little knee scooter, and so I got my kids on their bike, and then I got my littlest one on the knee scooter, and just going to Starbucks has been an epic adventure when you have a broken leg on a knee scooter. All the cars are going by and saying, can I help you? And you know, really, you got to turn small things into really fun things, especially when they're free.
So I'm just going to tell you now how not cool Mark and I about FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yes.
We didn't even know what that was.
Yeah, that's why we're
FOMO
not
is
cool.
a huge thing. So fear of missing out means that you see other people's fun stuff. You wonder why you're not doing as much. And people really beat themselves up when they see what other people are doing on social media. Now, I would recommend that you let go of a lot of the FOMO and enjoy what you're doing. Make your own kind of fun. Not everybody enjoys going out and having big parties. Some people enjoy a quiet night in. So let people do what they're going to do. You do what you do.
Chances are you aren't missing out.
Chances are you're not missing out. And if you feel like you're missing out on some things, make some more plans to do something else.
Call up a couple friends, do something.
Absolutely. There are fun adventures that can be had. The summer is not over.
And you know, autumn's my favorite season.
I agree.
So there you have that.
I agree. And here's hoping that I'm going to be able to start walking in autumn.
Good luck. Good luck to you. Glad you're okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to be here.
Well, still to come at 4, nearly half of American adults have high blood pressure.
And we have details of a new study that shows lowering your blood pressure could have added benefits.
How lowering blood pressure can keep your brain healthy. I'm Paul Orlowski in Cleveland with the findings of a landmark study.
Here's a live look. Where are we at here? Platteville? Yeah, downtown Platteville from our sky cam down there. Clouds moving in, maybe some storms later on. Medical experts are hailing the result of a new study.
The landmark research shows for the first time aggressively lowering blood pressure can reduce the risk of mild cognitive impairment and dementia.
Paul Orleski has more from Cleveland.
Ronald Pickett has had high blood pressure for more than 30 years.
My blood pressure started climbing, and then I had to go on medication.
At 71, his blood pressure has never been better, and new research shows that's not just good for his heart. A study presented at the Alzheimer's Association International Conference finds intensively treating blood pressure to lower the top number to 120 instead of 140 can lower the chances of developing mild cognitive impairment and dementia.
This is really the first time we've been able to show in a clinical trial that aggressive management of these cardiovascular risk factors, such as blood pressure, can reduce a person's risk for cognitive impairment.
The study looked at more than 9,000 people. Patients like Ronald, who received more aggressive treatment, had a 19% lower risk of decline in memory and thinking skills.
Diet and exercise, the reduction in salt, and medications if blood pressure was not reduced to less than 120.
Researchers advise thinking about your cognitive health now. If you have cardiovascular risks like high blood pressure, get them under control in your 30s or 40s. Ronald is glad his blood pressure is where it should be.
It feels a lot better knowing that I have a direction, on which way to go and what not to do.
He continues to eat better, exercise, and take his medications to stay heart and brain healthy. Paul Orlowski, CBS News, Cleveland.
It's estimated about half of adults in the U.S. have high blood pressure.
And under recent guidelines, it's defined high blood pressure. The top number is 130 or more, not 140. So 120 is the optimal.
And you're there.
With the help of medication and exercise, yeah, it takes some work.
There's more to come at 4. Stop worrying about the price at the pump. We are hitting the road solely on battery power.
We go behind the wheel of the all-new Nissan Leaf with Harvey Briggs. It's an electric vehicle for the masses. That's when Live at 4 continues.
And we are certainly starting to see a lot of those backups popping up on the Beltline. Here's a live look at Verona Road and the Beltline right now. You notice traffic coming to a complete standstill, especially on the eastbound side of the highway there. That is what a lot of folks are running into. The Beltline completely moving well below posted speed limits at this time. Here we are right up by Verona Road. You're only moving at about 10 miles per hour on the eastbound side of that. And then, of course, as you get closer towards Fish Hatchery, this is on the westbound side coming towards West Madison from John Nolan. Traffic moving at an average speed of about 12 miles per hour in that direction. As you work your way closer to between Rimrock and John Nolan there, traffic moving on an average of about 19 miles per hour. Additional slowdowns are showing up downtown, especially on John Nolan Drive at the very moment. Some additional slowdowns showing up on Washington towards University. So we're still going to see more of those slowdowns in and around the Madison area. The interstates across Dane County are in good shape as of now. Along with a lot of those highways as you get away from the city center. Here we are, westbound John Nolan to Verona. That's going to take you about 15 minutes. Eastbound University to the interstate, that's taking you just shy of half an hour at this time. Eastbound Verona Road to John Nolan, that's going to take you a little over 10 minutes at this time. And of course, pack your patience. It is that evening rush hour on this Wednesday afternoon. But of course, if you drive slowly, you'll get home safely. Guys.
Good advice. Thanks, Chris. Well, it's back to school for the Green Bay Packers, and the team moved into dorms at St. Norbert College in De Pere. And we couldn't help but notice running back Ty Montgomery showing up for training camp in a sporty Polaris slingshot. We're not going to see that, are we? This is not the right video.
He showed up with mattresses.
Anyway, Ty had a slingshot, the car that we drove not so long ago.
Not too long ago.
Harvey Briggs is here now. We're cooler than we thought.
Exactly. You know, Packers, us, driving slingshots. It's all good.
Now, on the other hand, non-slingshotty.
It is hard to believe, but with the 2018 Nissan Leaf, the company's groundbreaking battery electric vehicle has been actually part of the automotive landscape for 8 years now.
The oddly shaped first-generation Leaf became the best-selling electric vehicle in the world, while Tesla stole all the headlines. Now completely restyled, the Nissan Leaf remains an EV for the masses. The all-new Leaf.
Yes.
They turned a new leaf.
They've turned a new leaf. I'm sure no one's ever used that before.
Fine. So it's not the most original line, but this 2018 Nissan Leaf sure is original. This looks almost like a regular car.
Almost like a regular car. You know, the one thing I'll challenge you to do to this is find the gas cap.
You won't find the gas cap because there isn't one. The Leaf is completely powered by batteries. You don't fill it up, you charge it up. Now, if you just plug it into your outlet in the wall,
right?
How long is this going to take?
It'll take about 16 hours to get a full recharge from zero. Now, typically nobody drives the car down to zero, so if you're commuting 10 miles or 20 miles and you drive to work and back and you just want to recharge that 40 miles, you can do that overnight, no problem, with a 110.
But if you got the 240,
At
overnight.
240, you can recharge completely pretty much overnight.
And with the 2018 Leaf, that recharge will take you 150 miles, up from the previous model's range of about 90 miles.
This is 150 miles right now, but at the end of the year, they're going to have a 60 kilowatt battery option that'll get 225 miles.
So getting more real world.
Right, right. And if you got the range and you have the ability to fast charge, now you can start taking longer and longer trips with it.
So it's practical.
Yeah.
So let's get beyond the gee whiz factor of an EV. You still have to drive this thing. How does the Leaf stack up as, say, a car?
It's a really nice compact car. You've got a really well-designed interior. On this upgraded version, we've got nice leather, really good trim bits. There's no difference between this car and, you know, a typical
Nissan Sentra.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's exactly the point of the 2018 Leaf.
You know, this car rides and drives very much like a regular gas-powered car. It's only when you realize how quiet it is that you start to think, wow, this is really different. The great thing about an electric motor is all the torque. This motor is 147 horsepower, but it has 236 pound-feet of torque, which is way more torque than that is in the Nissan Rogue, say, for example. So if I keep this in regular drive mode and I give it a little gas, it kind of pushes you back a little bit.
But it doesn't push back against your wallet.
This car is less expensive than the car it replaces. So you get more range, you get better technology, you got a better ride, you get better handling, and you're paying about $600 less than the 2017 Leaf.
And everybody talks about the federal rebate, the tax rebate,
Right.
$7,500 on these things.
Yeah, you get a $7,500 rebate. They also have a program now that you get free charging for 2 years on this through their through multiple charging networks around the country. Nissan. Well, not only at Nissan dealers, but they'll give you a charge pass that's good at other charge points around the country. And of course, we talked to MG&E, and they're offering deals on installed chargers at home.
So you had this car for over a week.
Yes, I did.
Could you live with it?
I could live with it. The challenge comes when you have to think just a little bit. Like if I want to go to Milwaukee with it, that's 87 miles. I can get there. I can't get back without charging. So I just have to think about where's the charge station there, how much additional juice do I need to get back. Otherwise, it's great. It drives great. I love the one pedal driving where you never have to touch the brake. You lift off the gas and it uses the engine braking to regenerate electricity into the battery, and it'll slow the car right down to a stop. So it's a little different type of driving, but it's really fun.
For running around town.
It's great for running around town, yeah.
Exactly. It's great for around town. If you want to go to the Dells and back, that's going to be perfect. It's a really, really good option for your second car or your primary car if you don't drive that much.
So just retrain the brain, though, to remember these little details.
It really is a look into the future.
Yeah, it is. And we're going to see more and more electric cars come. We're going to see longer and longer range coming. Those prices on batteries are going to come down. Recharge technology will be improving. It's all moving forward, and this is the future.
All right. And you saw it. And we're going to have the slingshot for our final touch today.
Okay.
You want to?
Okay.
Sure.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll recap the weather right after this. Severe weather thunderstorm watch, but nothing yet on the radar.
Nothing yet here in our part of Wisconsin. We are watching some of those showers and thunderstorms, especially up near Eau Claire, Rochester, Minnesota. That's going to be crossing the border soon over into the La Crosse region up near Wausau. That's where they're seeing some of those showers and thunderstorms as of now. We're gradually going to watch this work its way to the south and east. It's moving into a more unstable environment. Of course, they do have that slight risk. That's a level 2 out of 5 chance for some strong to severe thunderstorms as we go through the rest of this evening. Temperature-wise, we'll cool down to about 68 degrees before dropping to about 63 for our overnight low.
And then cooler.
And then cooler as we go through next week.
Keep an eye on things this evening.
Yes.
All right, Chris, thank you.
Tomorrow on Live at 4, we'll find out what's happening in the 608 this weekend.
And UW veterinarian Sandy Sawchuk on a new study that shows dogs can tell when their owners are in need of help, and they quickly move in to assist. It's coming up tomorrow.